Welcome to No Apologies Without Becker on Beck tonight. I am Lori Hins, your host, and with me, co-hosting remotely from Fargo today, I'm very happy to announce, is Jay Thomas, another radio guy. And Jay, happy to have you on the show tonight. Looking forward to it.
I have to correct you, West Fargo.
Oh, yeah, people are really, really picky about that. If you're from West Fargo, you are not from Fargo. Yeah, that is right.
Okay.
But your radio station that you're on is in Fargo?
Actually, our signal goes all the way out to Montana.
Awesome. Well, okay, so let's talk about what's going on. I love this because, you know, sometimes we tend to be a little Western-centric here, and we tend to talk about all the stuff going on in the western part of the state, but let's talk about what's going on in Fargo. Right now, it is all-out war, apparently, on your city commission well, not yours, but on the Fargo City Commission.
Oh, it is. You know what? And here's the thing. I'm loving this. I really do. You have Commissioner John Strand. He's very liberal, and I like John, but I don't agree with basically any of his policies. And you know, oh my God, Commissioner Dave Pepcorn needs to apologize. What happened was there was a commission meeting. You know, these commission meetings, I think, are probably getting better ratings than anything on cable television or Netflix, man.
I did see that.
Better by the week.
I looked at the YouTube video and I was like, wow, 1,700 views on this. That's pretty good.
Tuesday morning, I get up and it's like, why is my phone just dinging nonstop? And it's like, all these listeners going, Jay, did you see last night's meeting in Fargo City? I was like, no, I don't watch that boring crap. Right. And well, you got to check this. I go back, I'm like, oh my God, man, this is awesome. So I don't know what's going on with Commissioner Tony Gehrig and Commissioner Dave Pepcorn. They're both right-leaning guys. Tony Gehrig is more libertarian. He just does not like spending taxpayer money, and good for him. But sometimes you got to give some breaks here and there to get these businesses in. And I don't know what's going on lately. For the last year, maybe 2 years, Commissioner Gehrig and Commissioner Dave Pepcorn, they are just growing apart, and they are going at it. When I have them on my radio show, oh my God.
Is it bad?
Well, you've got the audio and the still footage, but anyway, it ended up Commissioner Pepcorn was asking Commissioner Gehrig if he had been drinking before the meeting. And
Let's show that. Let's
before
just
that,
show
he got
that.
flipped off by Commissioner Pepcorn.
You mean the flip off came first and then the video came later?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember. I should know. I've watched it so many times. It's just pure. It's pure.
Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the video first because this is pretty interesting. Just listen to the audio.
Mr. Chairman, could I ask? Can we have Commissioner Gehrig follow the rules? And can I ask you a question, Tony? Have you been drinking before the commission meeting? Answer the question.
Let's go ahead with the report.
Okay.
All right, so needless to say, he did not answer that query, but what a mess. Apparently, these guys are really going at it personally at this point.
Yeah, and it's over. What it is like I said, Commissioner Tony Gehrig, he's very, very fiscally conservative. Mm-hmm. He believes that, look, why should we keep giving tax breaks to these businesses when they tell us right to our faces? Because he'll ask, if we don't give you this TIF for this tax break, will you still come to Fargo? And, and there's multiple times they've said, yeah, we're still coming there. We're still building. But then the city commission still gives them millions of dollars. And that's what gets Tony's goat. And it used to be that Commissioner Dave Pepcorn, he was the same way. But he's growing away from that. And he's more into, let's give these breaks. Let's give these breaks. And Tony just gets frustrated. And that whole fight had to do with, well, that one didn't, the flip-off one you're going to see has to do with, there's another business here in town that wants to expand.
Right.
And I believe they're looking for breaks. And Tony starts asking, have we ever did clawbacks? Which means, look, you come in, you say you're going to employ this many people, you're going to do this. And guess what? It doesn't happen. So has the city ever said, you didn't do what you said you were going to do, we want our money back, which is a legitimate argument. And that's where the whole flip-off thing came about.
Well, he said in the video, he's like, it's never happened. Nobody has ever come back and actually paid us after they have not given us the jobs that they said they were going to give. And so they were both really crashing at each other. It was tough.
Lori, it happens here all the time. I mean, it's fantastic. Fargo is growing like this, but these are legitimate questions. And I would be frustrated, and the taxpayers get frustrated too. I mean, I understand giving breaks. So if a company's coming in here and say, look, we're going to employ all these people, but we really need your help. Yes, we're going to get a break on property taxes, but 10 years from now, if we didn't build this,
sunset it? I don't know.
you wouldn't have the taxes that you're going to get from us. I get that. But when you have businesses coming in here and they're saying, we're going to build anyway or expand without your tax break, and you still give it to them? Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's probably only going to get worse. I just can't even imagine. You mentioned to me we were going to have a guest on today, and we are not going to have that guest on today. He had something that he had to do that he could not come. But you mentioned something interesting to me that I have not heard before about what was going on in Fargo with the hospitality situation with restaurants. What is going on with the restaurants in Fargo?
Ooh. We are having, matter of fact, today on my program, I had Keith Stensgaard on. And he's one of the owners. It's called the Side Street Bar and Grill, and his place is beautiful. And they treat their employees fantastic. And I asked him today, I said, so Keith, how's it going? Are you seeing the same thing with the way you treat your employees and the benefits you give your employees? How you doing with getting people coming in there? He said, Jay, the other day, I had 16 interviews set up. One person showed up. I gave them everything they wanted, plus full benefits. They never showed up.
Oh, no, this is horrible.
Now what we have here, and I don't know if you're having it out west. I know I was just out in Dickinson. By the way, Dickinson, I love you, man. There are so many restaurants that have been here for years that are now not open for lunch, sometimes not even opening till late in the evening. We have businesses that have been here for years that just have completely shut down. One, Dwayne's House of Pizza. If anybody knows anything. No, hold on before you lose your mind, because I almost lost my mind.
Okay.
The one in Fargo is still open, but the one in Moorhead that's been around for how many years, they shut the doors. They said, we're closing. They closed up, so we can't do it. We have lost a Granite City, which has been here for years, a big place. Food's fantastic. Known for their lunches, a place always packed for lunch. All the bigwigs like to hang out there.
Right.
No more lunches there. They can't get home. I have a friend of mine that is offering $45 an hour, 100% benefits paid, $2,000 on the spot signing bonus. He can't get anybody to take the job.
Wow, that is, well, thank you, Biden, for destroying our economy and making it more lucrative to sit at home.
He just destroyed it today. Now we're going to pay $100 to people to get a freaking vaccination.
I know, right? I'm like,
they haven't gotten it yet. They're not going to get it for $100 freaking dollars. Good Lord. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to bump it up to 500, then 1,000.
Yep.
Oh my God.
It's ridiculous. All right, when we come back, we're going to do a Freedom Fest video, and you'll be able to see Rick when he was in South Dakota talking to some really interesting folks. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's Hot Dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
Go for Launch 2018 series winner. Without further ado, it is my honors. Regina. The winning team is the Flumen River Excellence.
Oh my God!
They won!
Welcome back to No Apologies on Beck. Lori Hins in the normal Baron of the Bourbon Bureau is not here, so I have the Bourbon Bureau today. And with me, joining me remotely from West Fargo is Jay Thomas. Thank you so much for helping me out today. As you may know, Rick was down at Freedom Fest in South Dakota. He was at Rapid City, and he did a ton of interviews with a bunch of people while he was down there, Jay. And so he talked to a myriad of people, and what he did is he's given us all of these tapes so that we can play them so that everybody can see these interviews. This guy that he talks to in this interview that we're going to show today is a guy named Jeremy Corden. Jeremy Corden is the president of something called Goldback, and I've never heard of Goldback, but we are going to learn all about it today. Goldback, it's called. Roll it.
All right, folks, we are here at Freedom Fest in Rapid City, and I am here with Jeremy Corden, president of Goldback. Jeremy, welcome.
Thank you.
Appreciate having you here. So tell my viewers, if you would, all about Goldback, what it means. I mean, it's pretty innovative, and I think could be substantially, what do you call it, sort of creative destruction, right?
You know, I've never described Goldback as creative destruction.
Okay.
You know, really what it is the smallest gold product out there that I know of. So it's 1,000th of an ounce, and it's meant to be carried in your wallet and spent. So people are going out, they're spending these, they're using these, they're actually using sound money, and that's something that we haven't gotten people to do in a long time.
That sounds great. I mean, getting away from a fiat currency, where, you know, instead of the paper dollars that aren't backed by anything, I think would go a long way into solving a bunch of problems. I mean, if it were taken on as the primary method of money, I guess, primary form of money, wouldn't that help us get away from being so far in debt in the U.S.?
You know, I don't know about
$2,000 on this.
Maybe. I mean, we can. There's limits to how fast we can even make Goldbacks.
Okay.
You know, right now we have a bottleneck. We can only make about $1 million worth every month. We sell all of that every month, so we haven't really even been advertising, but people are snapping them up because they're worried about inflation. Goldbacks actually function as a local currency. They're not too hard to spend. So like the 50 has 50 times as much gold as the 1, and they're interchangeable, so the same premium makes it a gold-like cash.
Okay.
Whether or not it can be used as the primary money, I have no idea. Right now, the technological capacity to make enough of them isn't quite there, but theoretically, there is enough gold on Earth for everybody to use something like this.
Sure. So for right now, foreseeable future, it's just a means of someone having a type of cash alternative.
Yeah, it's an alternative to cash, you know, and that's why we sell the wallets. They're not hard to spend at, say, you know, like a farmer's market or a barber. It's about, you know, I was hoping it'd be about 10% of small business owners that would take them as payment. It's about half. If you talk directly to the small business owner, they got a 50-50 chance of taking a Goldback, and that's regardless of where you live.
Interesting. So how do you, on a day-to-day basis, I imagine that the goldback is going to be whatever the value of an ounce of gold is, and that fraction of an ounce of gold on, say, Kitco or something like that. Is that correct? Or
So, you know, with every material, as soon as you start working material, it's worth more.
Yeah.
Right. So if you make jewelry,
I mean, that's
you know,
beautiful. It's gotta
and if
cost
you, well, sure. I mean, if you bought a Tesla, you wouldn't say, well, what's the price of steel? You know, I mean, so you're taking an ounce of gold, you're splitting it into 1,000 pieces, and that just has a lot of utility to it. We did an analysis. It used to have cost about 400 to 500%.
Okay.
In terms of premiums to do something like that, we got it down to about 100.
Really?
Yep. So we're actually really proud of that. But again, a lot of the value is that you can trade it, that you can use it. You know, it's vacuum deposition. So it's actually very technologically advanced. If the goldback was any thinner, you'd be able to see through it. You know?
Interesting. And you know, I appreciate what you're saying, and clearly there's a cost to creating this type of form. So it's not so much that I was asking specifically pegged to the exact amount, but is it in proportion? In other words, is this value for this bill right now today going to be different than what it is next week? And how do we account for that?
Right. You know, we were thinking that gold might appreciate faster than goldbacks just because you have better gold price exposure with lower premiums. But what we actually found is that there's so much demand for goldbacks that over the past 2 years since we've launched, premiums on goldbacks and costs of goldbacks have gone up. Let me back up. So gold coins have done about 30%. Goldbacks have done about 67%.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so I'm starting from scratch here because I was not aware of these before. I find it fascinating. So really, it's more of say what do you call like the collectible?
Numismatics?
Yes, numismatic. Yeah. It's kind of a numismatic where it might be loosely correlated, but it's actually its own thing separate.
Not quite. So goldbacks are mass produced. There's almost 1 million of the one denomination that's been created. Over 300,000 people own goldbacks now. The reason people are buying them isn't to collect them or throw them in the safe. They're buying them to spend them, which really makes it different than most other forms of gold. Because when you buy a 1 ounce coin, you're not buying it to spend it. You're buying it for gold to go to $10,000. Then you're going to swap it back for fiat, which is what you're escaping. And then you're going to pay 28% to the IRS in the difference, so they can charge you on inflation.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm sorry if I'm being dense here, Jeremy, but how do we know what the value is on any given day?
Okay, that's a really good question.
That's what I'm trying to
What we're finding is that, you know, we tried to dictate the price of a goldback. Really what's going on is the market has to dictate the price of any currency. Mm-hmm. If you go on eBay right now, I think a goldback's about $6, but we do an average between the different dealers that sell goldbacks, and we put that average right on goldback.com. It's the first number up there. I want to say the average today is like maybe $380, $385.
Okay, fascinating. So that explains then.
There's an exchange rate.
Right.
That's more helpful to think of than a premium per se, because it's a currency.
Yes, absolutely.
Not just a novelty product.
You've got an exchange rate. Perfect. Yep. That's a much easier way of looking at it. No different than if I had Canadian dollars, or Belizean dollars, or Jamaican dollars. There's an exchange rate.
Right.
For if I'm doing a transaction and I'm carrying these beautiful goldbacks, and I want to do a transaction, it's easy enough for the business to say, oh, I know exactly what that value is to me.
Right.
Okay.
No, that's exactly right. And oftentimes business owners will give you a better deal. You know, maybe you can buy a goldback for $380 or $370, but you can spend them at $4.
Okay. That's really good. So obviously the trajectory is pretty darn good based on what you're saying. Exceeded expectations. Where do you see goldback, say, in the next 5 years?
5 years? It's hard to project that far. In 1 year from now, I mean, in 2 months from now, we can make them 6 times faster. You know, all of the big metals dealers in the country are selling them. We've got APMEX and JM Bullion and Money Metals. They're telling us that goldbacks are the most popular small denomination gold product in America. And it kind of snuck up on people. You know, this is all that's happened in the past 2 years.
Wow. That's amazing. So you are really ahead of the curve on this. That's fantastic. All right. Well, Jeremy, I know that you have to go, and I do appreciate you taking the time with us. It was a short segment. I think it's fascinating. Can you just show the viewers one more time these and get up nice and close to the camera?
So
these are beautiful, folks.
There's 5 different denominations. We have a 50 here. So the 50's got 50 times as much as the 1. The 1 is 1/1000th of an ounce. It's the smallest mass-produced gold product in the entire earth. And this is the 5 here. It's got 5 times as much gold as the 1. There's also a 10 and a 25. It's in 3 states. It'll be in 2 more.
Yeah, awesome. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Wow, very, very cool. Yay or nay? Yay or nay? He's like, no.
Yeah, I want to see my local gas station take one of those when I go pay for my gas that I just filled my truck up with. Give me a break.
I think they're collectible and they're cool.
That's
so.
what they are. It's a cheap way for people to buy gold.
It's all true. All right, when we come back, we got another one. You might like this one just a little bit better. Rick is talking to somebody you may have actually heard of before. Stick around.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with 1 truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Prairie Patriot Firearms and Training is the region's most complete gun and training center. 5-lane indoor range, a gun shop, and a certified training facility. Firearms training courses are offered daily for new, intermediate, and advanced shooters. If you're not comfortable in a classroom setting, Prairie Patriot offers one-on-one private lessons, from basic self-defense training to concealed weapons testing, along with a full line of guns, ammunition, holsters, and concealment clothing. Prairie Patriot, 3930 Memorial Highway, prairiepatriot.com.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with 1 truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's Hot Dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Welcome back to No Apologies, where we are unafraid to speak the truth. And I am your host tonight, Lori Hins, with me remotely from West Fargo, Jay Thomas. And I love having you on. Always fun stuff. That man cave is awesome looking.
I was going to do it tonight from my downstairs man cave where I got the full bar and the big TV. But I was like, you know what? It's just, even though the smoke is so suppressing out here, the smoke is horrible. It's like, nah, I got to be out in the garage.
Yeah. That's good. All right, we've got another interview. This time, Rick was talking to a gentleman called Matt Kibbe. You may have heard of Matt Kibbe before. He is president and chief community organizer of Free the People. Free the People is dedicated to promoting right libertarian ideals. It'll be interesting to see what he has to say with this guy. Matt Kibbe, let's roll it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here at Freedom Fest in Rapid City, South Dakota, and I'm so very, very happy to present our next guest, Matt Kibbe, who is founder of Free the People. I've known of you for many, many years. You were president of Freedom Works for many years, and in fact,
Forever.
Yes, it seems like it.
Yeah.
And I've seen you speak at various Freedom Fests over the years. I find your intellect to be so keen. I love hearing what you have to say. I hate to overstroke my guess, but I think it's fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You also have a book that the title, amazing. It's what? Don't hurt people and don't take their stuff. Is
Yes.
that how?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I mean, if we could all just live by that simple premise.
I tried to figure out how I could just publish that book as those words and be done with it. Because the joke was I wanted to translate Adam Smith's theory of moral sentiments into a tweet.
Yes.
And and I basically stole it from your grandma, right? Like, what were you taught?
Yeah.
Your mom stole it from her mom, and you were taught as a kid, don't hurt people and don't take their stuff.
Sure.
And those are core human values. They're fundamental to the American experiment, and they sort of draw across like partisan lines, because if you take the politics out of it and the red versus blue, when you say that, everybody's like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. How could anyone disagree with that?
Yeah.
Exactly. And then so the rest of the book, you've got to figure out how to make it interesting to keep saying that in a different way, I imagine.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I haven't read it, but I should.
You don't need to. You just read the title.
All right. So tell us a little bit more about your new organization.
Yeah. So Free the People, we started about 5 years ago. And the experiment is sort of the opposite of what the Tea Party was, which is what Freedom Works was about. Because that was an effort to coalesce everybody that agreed on some core values and try to impact opinion and eventually politics at the margin. So it's what the left would call cadre building. Free the People is the opposite of that, because I think because of technology, there is a massive generation of young people, we call them liberty curious, that don't know anything about the books I read. They're not paying that much attention, but they have those values from your mom built into them. And so we have decided to use technology and video storytelling to tell emotionally compelling stories about liberty that would attract people outside of our tribe, like outside of all the people that are here at Freedom Fest. And it's been wildly successful. And we started producing short videos, but now we're doing lots of documentary films, including 2 that are competing here at the Anthem Film Festival. And to me, that's the medium. It's upstream of politics. It's in culture. If you remember Andrew Breitbart, he always told us, don't focus on politics, focus on culture. And that's what Free the People does, because we think that if we don't do that, we're leaving a generation behind, and that's a generation that's going to decide whether or not we still embrace freedom.
Yep. I love that the term liberty curious. I heard Lisa Kennedy use it a few years ago, and I think it's kind of a fun term, but I think it really portrays the reality that so many young people are kind of figuring out their place in the world, and they are liberty curious. And if organizations like yours are not reaching them, other people, like we'll say in the Bernie Sanders faction, are, and somehow socialism is becoming sexy to them rather than liberty.
Yeah, and it's funny because the left has done, the authoritarian left has done a much better job engaging people at a cultural level. And a key part of that is the language that you use, and libertarians, constitutional conservatives, classical liberals, whatever we are, we have that same tribal language that everybody else does. So it's important to listen to your audience, and even young people that are flirting with this phrase democratic socialism. You and I think it's an oxymoron.
Yes.
But I think, and you can see this in data, a lot of young people hear the word socialism. They don't remember that Mao murdered millions of his countrymen. They don't remember that Stalin slaughtered his people. They hear the word social, and they're thinking, I like community-based cooperation, people working together from the bottom up. You can hear AOC kind of talk in these terms sometimes. And I'm like, that's us. That's not them.
Right.
Socialism is top down. Socialism is brute force. Socialism is forcing you to do things that you don't want to do. So I think we engage young people who are flirting with those ideas because we actually have a model for social cooperation that answers that desire they have to make their community a better place.
Yeah, totally agree. On the website, I noted that it says that the organization is connecting millennials with the values of liberty. So you've kind of focused, at least in that statement, on millennials. Give me your view. My view is that there's maybe a pendulum swing, because I'm actually shocked. The Gen Zers, I'm finding that I'm expecting them to be sort of void of any coherent philosophy on politics or society, and yet they're coming at me with things that I would never expect that are liberty oriented. Are you seeing anything in the same sense?
Like Gen Zers and even whatever we call high school kids today. I don't know what the proper jargon is. It's just the next generation is the best way to say it. I think there's a counter revolution. I think that the left has morphed into this very authoritarian thing that I don't recognize from 5 years ago. And you can call it wokeism or just intolerance, whatever that is. I think the counter revolution is young people that are not trusting their professors, not even trusting the establishment that tells them how to think. They can go curate that stuff for themselves, which is the ultimate libertarian value, just figuring out how the world works for yourselves. And that, for all the censorship on media, I think that that's where the counter-revolution comes from. So they're streaming Joe Rogan, and they're finding these long-form conversational things that don't tell you what to think, but challenge you to think.
Yes.
And they're binge streaming on Netflix. We're on Amazon Prime. We're on all these platforms, and I kind of, in some ways, I view us as creating a curriculum for young people that want to be what kids are, which is counterculture, and not do what the man tells you to do.
Right.
And the key to that, by the way, is not to tell them what to think. And this is a failing, not just of our side. I think everybody does this, sort of talking down to people and pointing their finger. You don't understand enough, so let me explain how the world works. That's a dumb way to do it. But provoke them to think about things in a different way than what they've been told to think. And I think that's all we need to do.
Sure. Having young people know how to think rather than what to think is key. It seems that in our higher education institutions are so entrenched in not teaching how to think but what to think. I don't see that changing. However, I'm wondering if the dynamic of higher education itself is transitioning away from the current model into a model that will afford young. Have you given that any thought on what the future of higher ed might be and how it might break away from the entrenchment of how to how to think?
Yeah, I mean that's a key part of our model. And by the way, what we call higher education today is going to get worse before it gets better. And they've worked themselves into a corner where the value of their product is grossly overpriced. When people go into the job market, they discover that they spend a lot of money on nothing. So they want a federal bailout. They want free college because it's the only way they survive. But that doesn't change the fact that it's a bad value proposition. So again, thinking about this counter-revolution, it's more decentralized, and it's more, there's a movement in the K-12 space called unschooling, which is basically a fancy way of saying, let kids pursue their abilities and their curiosities and figure out for themselves who they are and what they want to do. And to me, there's going to be 1,000 iterations of higher education, but it's not going to be one size fits all. It's not going to be dictated from Washington, D.C., and I can't wait to see what that is. I would hate to be a parent with a senior in high school today, because you have to decide, is it worth it to put my kid through school? Am I going to pay $150,000 for something that might indoctrinate them?
Right.
And by the way, make them worthless in the job market. I don't know what you do with that.
Exactly. Okay, in our final minute that we have, I want to just ask you to maybe expound just a bit on the facets of what your organization is focused on in bringing liberty to young people. I know criminal justice reform is one area.
Yeah. We try to, I call them transpartisan issues. And they're really liberty issues, but they're kind of issues like criminal justice reform and restorative justice would be one of them that are attractive to people across the political spectrum, no matter how they identify. Because I kind of view that as a gateway to understand how liberty works and how you don't need a one-size-fits-all solution. And in the case of criminal justice reform, mass incarceration is very much a product of the government, of using power. And I love that. Like Bernie Sanders talks about it all the time, and I'm like, you're complaining about big government, sir. So we're showing a film here called All We Have, and it's a horrible story about a family in Brooklyn who have a family restaurant who got shut down by Cuomo, and they're struggling to save the family business. In the middle of all this, their son develops a problem with seizures, but they can't get an appointment at the hospital to get tested, and he ends up dying. So you have this horrible emotional story about destroying this family, losing their son, and it's really about the arrogance of Cuomo and lockdowns. But we don't talk about Cuomo. We don't talk about lockdowns. We don't talk about the unintended consequences of big government policy. All we do is tell their story. And to me, if you can do it, and it's hard to do, if you can tell an emotionally compelling story without bludgeoning people over the head with the principles of economics, they'll start to say, I didn't realize that we were doing this to people. And I need to rethink this idea that they should keep us safe at any cost.
Right. You let them connect the dots, and then they own that new awareness. Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, I believe it's freethepeople.org.
Yes.
Freethepeople.org. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't say enough good things about both Matt Kibbe and his organization, freethepeople.org. Matt, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
It's awesome.
Very interesting gentleman. Have you ever heard of Matt Kibbe before, Jay? No, hadn't heard of him before? I had heard of him before because I think that at one point, he did FreedomWorks, but then also I was looking at his bio, and he also was Director of Federal Budget Policy at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. He was also a senior economist for the RNC, the Republican National Committee, so he has done a bunch of different stuff. So, all right. You are going to get to talk to me and give me some feedback on this next time. We're going to look at Mailbag. And Mailbag is all of our social media stuff that people have been commenting on. So we'll be right back with that. Stick around.
When you're buying windows, make sure you're comparing apples to apples. Hi, I'm Jesse with the Window Source. We only sell you the best windows and doors for the best price. Call the Window Source. Just because you pay less doesn't mean you get less.
Calling all first responders. Join us Saturday, July 31st for First Responders Night at the Bismarck Event Center. The Bucks take on the Green Bay Blizzard with a 7:10 p.m. Central Time kickoff, and will highlight those who serve and protect our communities. For more information on tickets, visit bismarckbucks.com and download your free general admission ticket today. Saturday, July 31st, it's the Blizzard versus your Bismarck Bucks. See you on the 31st. Go Bucks!
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's Hot Dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
We're the ladies of Another View, bringing you a fresh view on local issues.
And different perspectives you won't get on the mainstream media. Watch us weekday afternoons at 4:30 Central Time on Beck News and at beck.news.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. When you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Could you do us a favor? Beck TV is a finalist for Best Local TV Station in the Bismarck Tribune's Best of the Best. Vote now through August 9th by text or online. Vote for your leader in local, Beck TV.
Very own fancy schmancy intro for mailbag there. Welcome back to No Apologies with Becker on Beck. I'm Lori Hins. With me, Jay Thomas from West Fargo, live and in person remotely. And we're going to take a look at our mailbag today. And this is where Rick usually says in the TV show, he says, your after hours oasis of sanity. We'll see how sane this is. So take a look right off the bat at our mailbag. What we did is we took some pictures or screenshots of things from our Facebook page. This first one, however, is a little unusual because this comes from Rick Becker for North Dakota's page because he shared the No Apologies with Becker post. And he said, I'm done with taking the high road, letting talking heads continue to intentionally distort the facts about conservatives, Bastiats, and me. This is just the beginning. Hang on. Sounds a little threatening there, not gonna lie. Then below the No Apologies with Becker post that he shared says radio host Scott Hennon is trying to get Charlie Kirk to say bad things about the Bastiats. Why? We'll cover that on No Apologies with Becker tonight at 9 p.m. on Beck News. So this is people's reaction to him taking Scott Hennon to task. He says, the first one says, finally, punch back. The distortions and lies are nauseating. Yep, 1 minute Hennon on our side, the next he's not, and especially terrible to the Bastiat, always destroying them. Why? And the third one says, I don't think Hennon is on our side. Appears to be too manipulative to the audience, but he is bought and paid for by outside forces, so I am told. Now, I would like your opinion on a couple of these things.
Great. Great. He's only my freaking boss. Thanks, guys. if people don't know, AM 1100, the Flag Family Media, they're buying WDAY Radio. So we're in the family. I've known Scott for 30 years. Listen, you know, Scott's not bought and paid for. I hear that all the time. Scott's the way he's always been. When it comes to the Bastiats caucus, I don't know because I don't dive that deep into politics.
Right.
So there's really nothing. And I'm not trying to dodge those people. Oh, that Jay Thomas, he's trying to dodge because that's his boss. No, Scott lets me be me. When they took over the station, Alameda, the first thing they said was, Jay, you just be you. We'll never change you. But I know Scott's not bought and paid.
Well, I'm gonna get to a little bit more on that too, because somebody else says here on the lists, Hennon is just like Port, they say. They are being paid by the establishment in order to see who is paying them. Just look at who he defends and who he attacks. That's what they say. Somebody else says, no disrespect towards your person, but in truth, Hennon makes an honest living, somebody said. He's not bought and paid for, and I know that for certain. But because of my regard for his family's privacy, I will keep that info that proves what I stated is true to myself. And somebody else says, regardless of my viewpoints on this topic and whether or not anyone would agree or disagree, I would like to commend you on your response. That has been the most respectful answer I have come across online anywhere, especially anywhere anything remotely politics is involved. So thank you for that. So people are just being kind to each other and not even being mean on here too. Next one, let's go to the next one. This one is on talking about Sanford. Okay, is this, all right, I'm confused now. This is the one that is, thank you, the Left and Right radio show hosts have both been so biased. Is that what I'm reading here? Anyway, I'd love to see a week with Joel and Scott featured on your show, by the way. Maybe we'll have to do that too. Another one says, no, I think
It'll never happen.
North and Right. I don't think it would ever happen either. Although,
no,
Joel,
I'll be honest with you. No, I'll be honest with you. Okay, it'll never happen. Scott would do it. Joel won't. Joel
You
will
know,
not
Joel
do it.
has
And
been
I'll tell
on-
you why. I'll tell you why. And I consider Joel a friend, even though we see nothing eye to eye. Joel knows that Scott will take his ass to the tool shed. That will never happen. I wish it would. I'd love to see it. It's not going to happen. Scott would do it. Joel. So Joel, I know you watch Becker. Joel, do it, brother. Do it. Go one-on-one with Scott on No Apologies, man.
Now, Joel has been on with Becker. The two of them have been
but
on
he hasn't
before.
been on with Scott.
No, that is true. That is true. That would actually be with the three of them.
And let me moderate it. Oh God, Lord, please let me moderate that.
I'll be over here eating popcorn. Thank you very much. I think that
I'm just waiting for the comments.
It would be. It'd be must-see TV for sure. One more I'm going to read here really quick, too. You've got a lot of people standing behind you. Rick, is Hennen still on the air? Somebody said, ooh, that is the meanest thing anybody said.
Boy, they are just rough on Hennen. Holy smokes.
I know.
You know what?
I know.
Give me a statewide show. Come on, man.
Right? I think you need it. All right. When we come back, we are going to do a really, really fun little show for you. We're going to do a little bit talking about YRs and about a recent convention. We'll see if you know what YR means when we come back.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Spas, etc.
You've come to know and trust us for over 18 years with the largest selection and showroom in Western North Dakota for our beautiful Sundance spas. Plus, you can pick out your next home experience with our selection of pool tables, shuffleboards, and fun accessories.
Spas, etc. Your relaxation destination on Main and Bismarck.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's Hot Dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Welcome back to No Apologies on Beck with Lori instead of Rick today. He is not at the Bourbon Bureau. He is out somewhere gallivanting around the United States, contiguous United States at least. He's still stateside. But he'll be back on Monday, do not fear. Now you have made it to 5, and with me remotely from West Fargo is Jay Thomas, talk show guy. Tell me a little bit about your TV show really quick, too.
TV show is Rides with Jay Thomas. We travel around the upper Midwest, and we just film really cool cars, trucks, motorcycles, tractors. The whole philosophy has always been, if it's cool and it's got a story, we want it. We check out guys' man caves, even girls' man caves. We have a blast. We're going to start filming season 4 here in September. Season 3 is, I think there's 2 more weeks in it. You can catch it Sunday nights, 10:35 on your local ABC station. After that, it's rerun all the time. We're on Amazon, and we're working on some other big national deals, man. I love it. That's my stuff, man. I love cars.
That's great. It sounds amazing. And I just have not been able to see it yet because I'm doing this. So, okay.
Wow,
I know, right?
It's so weak.
Well, we are kind of competing a little bit. What time does your show air?
Well, 10:35 Sunday nights.
Oh, then it's not so bad. So it's not. No,
Yeah,
you are competing.
And then
with us.
Saturday afternoons, it's on all the time. They'll run marathons. So don't give me that. That is weak. Next time I'm on with you, I want you to give me an outline of one of my shows.
I will. And I actually, I am a kind of a.
Go to Rides with Jay Thomas on Facebook. We have past shows on there and stuff.
That's awesome. I will do that. And honestly, the truth is that I grew up with all brothers, and so I am kind of a car nerd anyway. It's weird, but I'm like I'm a boy mom, and so we do know our cars a little bit. So I am going to introduce who is in the guest in the studio with me today. She is from Ladies of Another View, one of the hosts from Ladies of Another View, which I am so excited to have you here. This is Andrea Toman. Now, Andrea Toman has a couple of different hats. She, like me, does some things outside of the TV thing that she does. She recently just got back from Indianapolis, and I saw a whole lot of pictures of fun that she had in Indianapolis with a crew of people from North Dakota at the YR event. No, it was the YRNF, so the National Federation, and it was the YR National Convention. Now, YR stands for Young Republicans.
Yes,
so,
it does.
Okay. All right.
So you were at the YR thing, and I knew all the people in the pictures, which was super cool, and you are the YR North Dakota National Committee woman.
Yes, so I'm the National Committee woman for the state of North Dakota for the Young Republicans. And Lori's the National Committee woman for the state of North Dakota for the Republicans.
Right. So we have similar jobs, very similar.
Somewhat similar.
Yeah, very cool.
yeah.
So you went to this convention, and it looked like it was great fun. You did some weird spelunking thing. I don't know what that was all about.
That was not intentional. We took a road trip. I mean, it is the Midwest, so you have an option to spend a bunch of time waiting for security, staying in airports, layovers. Who wants to do all that when you can road trip with your friends?
Right.
So we took a 16-hour drive to Indianapolis, and that particular spelunking trip was at Wyalusing State Park in Wisconsin.
Neat.
On our way down there. So
Very, very, very fun.
little detour, but extra fun.
So talk a little bit about the YRs and what they did at their convention. I know I saw pictures of somebody that I knew, and that was Ronna McDaniel, who made an appearance, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so the Young Republicans are 18 to 40 inclusive, so you age out when you're 41.
Oh.
And you, yeah, sorry, Jay.
Oh, there was a
You
punch
gotta-
to the gut.
You're
Yeah,
stuck
no
with
longer-
the old Republicans, is what I hear.
Right.
So I've now been to a college Republican National Convention, 2 Young Republican National Conventions, and
And
an
a
RNC National Convention.
Very
so
cool.
this is my 4th national convention with 3 different organizations. But I'll tell you, they're all the same.
In a lot of ways, I'm certain, yeah.
Yeah, we have the same mission, we have the same goal. For the Young Republicans, we describe it as recruit, train, and elect. So our mission is to recruit new people into the Republican Party, recruit candidates to run for office, to train young people in what they need to do to be successful in politics, whether they are running campaigns or whether they are running for office themselves, and then obviously to elect Republicans, and especially to elect young Republicans. So that's our mission and goal with the Young Republicans. And we had the pleasure this last week of electing Rick Lowry as the new chairman for the Young Republicans to a 2nd term, and he's the first national chairman to be elected to
He's a great human being, too. I really like Rick Lockery. Actually, I'd like to have him on the show at some point, too. That's on
We
my...
could definitely do that.
That is my bucket list item because I really like him, too. So, no, talk about some of the other Young Republicans that you had there, too, because you had some people who are sitting congressmen there, too. That was cool.
Yeah, we had several, actually. Madison Cawthorn from North Carolina, I believe. He called it the Better Carolina, because he was talking to me from North Dakota. So
right.
The Better Dakota. So.
Right. And then
Kat Kamek, she's wonderful. Listening to her is just a real joy. She has quite the story to tell. It's very approachable. You can definitely see how she was drawn in with the Republican Party and how it's really made a big difference in her life, and she's done a lot with what she's been given. So very pleased to have seen her in Indianapolis.
Can I jump in here real quick?
Yeah,
Sure.
Jay?
Honestly, I have a question for young Republicans. Is there anything that you young people, 18 to 40, all us old people, I'm kidding. Is there anything that you look at and go that this needs to change in the Republican Party? They're not doing this right, or they need to move this way or do this. Is there anything that is amongst you that you agree on?
I think that the answer is why we actually have a Young Republicans, which is sometimes it can be hard to find those opportunities within the Republican Party, especially in a state like North Dakota, which has a very well-established RNC, and the NDGOP is kind of full, so to speak. So if you want to get involved, it can be a real challenge for young people to find their place. So we've essentially created an entire another organization that allows people to get involved and learn the ropes and understand what it means to be a part of the Republican Party and learn and understand about policy and about how to run campaigns and all of that kind of stuff. Alongside our examples, which are the NDGOP, absolutely we look up to our sister organizations. And when I say they're all alike, they really are. Like we train the same way, we run campaigns the same way, we party the same way. Like
right.
we know how to. The grand old party knows how to party.
Get together and go, we need to see this moving this way, or we need to see this embraced. Is there any of that, or is it just we stick to the same Republican philosophy that's been there? I guess that's what I'm trying to get at.
I'll tell you, the Young Republicans in North Dakota are sold, absolutely sold on the Republican Party platform. Okay. They are here for it, and we 100% support it. And so if it comes down to part of the Republican Party not wanting to keep it around, they're going to end up in a bit of a tussle with the Young Republicans, because we absolutely are Republicans because of that.
Thank you so much, both of you, for helping me out today. I really appreciate it. On Monday, Rick will be back at the Bourbon Bureau. We will bring back some more timely topics for you, and we will treat you to some more Freedom Fest interview time here on No Apologies with Becker. We'll see you. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm gonna pass the savings directly on to you. For example, you get my 6-piece towel sets, regular $109.99, now only $44.98, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.